Welcome back, everyone, to my next live video. I'm coming at you today from Paris. I'm on a trip right now, and it's actually been really good here. Most everything is open, so it's been nice. I walked around for, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 hours today, and went to lots of shops, went to a lot of sites, saw Jim Morrison's grave, went to the Eiffel Tower, went to a few different places. Notre Dame, saw that. But everything's open, so that was really cool. I feel like I'm really low here. I need something else to sit on. I don't know. I'm gonna adjust this a little more. It didn't look like this earlier. There we go. But anyways, it's pretty nice here in Paris. The good thing was, on my way to the airport, found out that my computer was fixed. So I called them up. I don't know why it got sent to the Apple store instead of my house, because I paid extra for it to get sent to my house so that I could hopefully get it in time. But I told them, hey, don't pack it up. I'm on my way. I'm gonna get it. Got the computer back. Unfortunately, the hard drive was wiped, so everything is in fact gone. But the good news is that as I was going through all of my settings, making sure I actually got the same computer, checking the hard drive, or not the hard drive, but the serial number, I want to make sure they didn't give me a different computer with lower specs because I paid a lot for it. And come to find out, this computer has a 4 terabyte hard drive now rather than a 2 terabyte hard drive. So I don't know how that works with the logic board or with hard drives, if those are connected. Maybe they didn't have a new one on hand, so they put a new one in. I don't know. I'm glad for it. I think I would rather have all the work I did back, but that's a good upgrade. I'll have a lot more space to work with stuff, which I will be backing up very often, so that's good to have. But as far as today's video about tips for dealing with troll comments, if you are going to be a creator, which obviously my channel is about teaching you how to use your camera to make good videos, so if you're new, consider subscribing. But you're going to get people who are going to bring negativity if you're going to take your work and post it out there for everyone to see. It's just going to happen. It doesn't matter how good you are, it's just going to happen. There's going to be mean people out there. They just don't care about being nice. They just want to tear people down. So we're going to go over how to deal with that, and then I'm going to go over a lot of my favorite troll comments that I got on my channel as I was going through for the last video I did on the Q&A. But the main thing to remember when it comes to dealing with negativity is that you don't want to be mean to people. That's just going to make you look bad. You don't want to get down to their level. However, I wouldn't say to not engage with them, because the thing is, with these type of comments, YouTube is, all it sees is comments on your videos, and they see that as engagement, and that's a good thing, and then they're going to push your video more. So I always respond, almost always, if I see all the comments, to those comments, but I do it with some kind of, in a positive way. A lot of times I'll act like I'm ignorant of what they're trying to say and kind of play dumb and be like, oh, well, I'll work on that, or I don't know, something along those lines. And it's funny how that can actually turn them around, and I've had some people come and subscribe after I did that. So I'll have some examples of that as well in the comments, but don't be negative. Yes, respond, because that can give you more engagement, because it's just more comments. And also other people might just come in there for you and start attacking those people that are being mean if they're your fans and they like what you do and they disagree with that person. So then that can just build more and more. Not that you want conflict to happen, but it can help with your video. So there are some times when I've had some inappropriate things that I don't want posted on there at all, and when I get that kind of stuff, I'm not reading any of that. I delete it. I don't just delete it, but I report it as spam to YouTube, and that user typically gets blocked. So don't be negative, be positive, and it'll be a good thing. So let's move on to getting into some of these. Okay, first off, lose the stupid sunglasses on the head look. Sorry. Stop wearing glasses when filming indoors. Okay, so yeah, when I started out, I used to have the glasses on my head. I wear glasses a lot when I'm outside, obviously because of the sun, but I would use them sometimes as a prop. And as you go back and look at your stuff, you sometimes see that, hey, maybe that wasn't, not, I don't know if I didn't think it was cool, but you try things, it doesn't work out, and you adapt. That's what happens. I don't do it anymore. This one, like his setup. but I'll give him the benefit of a doubt. It's an old video. How are you going to have a film reel in the back and not understand lighting? Great soft light on your face, some shadows off your right shoulder, but the dreaded ring eye light. Come on, boss, you're better than that. It's so distracting. But now I will watch your latest video. Do this, I don't know. I think he's saying this may just be a great marketing stunt. Okay, so lights can be really expensive, and ring lights are not that expensive, and they light up a big area. I like the way it looks. I don't mind the circles that it puts on your eyes. Some people don't like it, but you know what? If it's that distracting, send me a better light, and I will gladly use it, and I'll do a review on it as well. So then, I guess by the time I saw this, the guy had gone and watched another video and left a comment. I'm not gonna curse. Darn ring light with an emoji crying face. I just wrote, sorry, with an emoji like this and a question mark. But then the guy came back and said, Camber Motion, Coming Home looks good. That's one of my short films. I'll link that down in the description for you later. You're doing killer audio. The coffee sequence was great, with a thumbs up. Thanks, bro. That's what I said back to him. So he came back and gave me some nice comments. And I had another video, I couldn't find it, but I remember someone said, your voice is really annoying. And so I just said, I'm sorry, I'll really try to work on that next time. And then the guy came back and said, no, I was just messing with you. Actually, subscribe. Great videos. So, I don't know, maybe if you engage people and call them out sometimes, they'll change their mind and end up helping you out. Next up, okay, my 4th or 5th video is on SD cards, and that's still my biggest video, and I've made a lot of video on SD cards. So this guy wrote, who knew Lou Diamond Phillips was an SD card expert? Okay, in case you don't know, there's Lou Diamond Phillips. I don't know. Do you see? I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe you do. I used to have people tell me I look like Tom Cruise when I was younger, but never him. And not all these are going to be mean comments. Some of it's stuff like that, and I saw that one. It was kind of funny. I didn't know who it was at first, and then I recognized him. I just didn't know his name. Another SD card one. This was so boring. Sorry. So, but he wrote boring, B-O-A-R-I-N-G, so maybe something to do with pigs, I don't know. But sorry, some of my videos are a bit technical, like the SD card one. There's lots of numbers, and you can't really get past that. And some of my old videos, I wasn't as enthusiastic when I did them. I was getting into it. I hadn't gotten into the groove yet of how I want to do things. I was trying out different techniques, and it happens. That's how you learn. You just keep making more and more and get better. But you can't please everyone. So then I had a video, I think it was the second one I did, on best cameras for beginner filmmakers. And this person wrote, thanks for reading the specs on the website, with a face like this. I just said, well, you're welcome. Now you don't have to. So, I mean, what can you do? I will say, yeah, that isn't my best video. It was also my second video, so, you know, chances are your first videos aren't going to be that great. But that's how you go back and look and improve. Then on the same video, this is just moral talk. I think you meant morale talk, not the camera suggestion or comparison whatsoever for filmmaking, as the title suggests, besides some short description of 6 cameras. Yeah, like I said, that video wasn't my best. I compared 2 cheaper cameras for beginners that I thought would work well, then 2 that are a little bit higher price range, Canon and Sony, depending on which brand you like, and then 2 more that were higher priced in case you had a bigger budget to start out with. So, you know, it wasn't great. I did just talk a lot of specs, but I made a new video of that this year, and it's done way better, and I made it more concise and took feedback from those comments and tried to put it to good use. Extremely useful information and well delivered. Thanks. The eyes were distracting though. They look like little power buttons. Kept wanting to press it to see what would power up. What would power up? I don't know. Push my eye and find out. Another thing with the ring light. A lot of people hate it. I first noticed it when I watched Darius Britt, D for Darius, if you've ever seen his filmmaking channel. I liked the way it looked, and I got one. I mean, when you start your YouTube channel, you're probably going to model stuff after different creators that you like, and that's what I did. Next, so I talked about this in my Q&A video before, but in my SD card video, I had a 5D Mark III that I made it look like it threw over my shoulder. So I went like that, and the next take, after I put the camera on the wall behind me, I put my hand like this and did a match cut basically to make it look like I tossed the camera behind me. I guess I did a good match cut because a lot of people believed it. And this person said, I stopped watching when he threw the camera. Amateur, no respect for his tools. Smart, too. Smart donkey, I'm not gonna curse. Smart A word, but I'm not gonna throw a $3,000 camera over my shoulder onto the floor unless there's someone there to catch it or there's a pillow that I know it's gonna land on or something. And I probably still wouldn't even do it then. Are you high? No. I've never been high for any of my videos. I've never even been high. I guess maybe it's because I look kind of tired in some of my videos and maybe a little more monotone. Keep in mind, I have 4 kids and it can be kind of draining some days because I have to record my videos after they go to bed, so everyone's quiet. I'm in a bigger neighborhood and there's lots of noise, lawnmowers, all that. So I wait till nighttime, turn on my lights. Sometimes I'm tired, but I want to push it through anyways. So, sorry. Why does he stand so close to the camera? Okay. This kind of confuses me sometimes. I don't know if someone's asking me the question or if they're asking other people because it is my channel and my video and my comments section, so I don't know, but why does he stand so close? Maybe I think they're asking why do I stand so close. If they want to know my answer, my old setup was a lot. Instead of, saying this big, it was like that big, so there wasn't as much space between me and the wall, and I don't want to stand against the wall because the further back you get, guess what? There's no depth. So I try to get a little, at least halfway between the camera and the wall to have a little bit of depth of field, a little blurriness in the background, but you can't make everyone happy. Okay, here's a longer one. Got some interesting points in here. Excuse me. And just to make sure, I'm assuming everyone can hear me now because I haven't had any comments about you not being able to. So just let me know if for some reason you can't hear something I'm talking about. Anyways, moving on. Man, actually a nicely done video. Thank you. You got a new sub. Awesome. But there are 2 things that I really dislike. Consistent Powerline noise in the audio stream. This problem it seems is still not fixed by you. So let me suggest to move your microphone cables far away from your power lines. It should help. Also check your ground in your power socket, but it's just a tiny technical flaw which can be corrected pretty well in post by applying just an EQ filter to cut out all the stuff below 60 Hertz. Okay, so talking about this, I use microphone. It's not in there. I always forget something when I go on trips, and this time is my microphone, but I use a Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. Before that was just the Rode Video Mic Pro. But on the Plus and on my A7 III, I noticed if I did start to hear this hum if I turned the volume up loud enough, and it was, excuse me, it was pretty annoying once I realized it. But what I found out was that if I didn't put in the gain up higher, the camera would give this, excuse me, sorry, the camera would give this just hum forever, but once I turned the gain up on the actual microphone, that went away. So that problem's fixed. I did figure it out. So that did point it out to me, and I noticed it in a few of my videos. Next up, I really dislike, first off, this video was about frame rates. And I was talking about 24 frames per second. I really dislike the beginning with your friendly advice to always be shooting only at 24 frames per second if I want my videos to look good. Okay, that was a joke. I was being sarcastic. I thought I made it pretty obvious because I said, if you want your videos to look good, you should always only be shooting at 24 frames per second, except when you shouldn't. I thought that was obvious, it was sarcastic, but apparently not. So he says, seems a guy who have a brain and are able to think for himself, right? You definitely know the stuff that you're talking about and can do the math. Left a timestamp. Not so many filmmakers can do this math. Peter McKinnon can't, for example, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if this guy knows Peter McKinnon or thinks that he doesn't know math or he's dumb or something, but he knows a lot about cameras, so I'm pretty sure he knows his stuff. But Peter, if you ever see this, I'll link that video if you want to watch it and let me know if you don't know math. on how to do frame rates for your, or shutter speeds for your frame rates. So he said, I just want to broaden your knowledge a bit with proving you the info about a reverse math that takes place in the monitor that displays 24 frames per second videos. Let's have a look at this pretty unique stuff for YouTube, just 3 minutes to watch. So please watch to the end to get the point, and left a link for a video for me. And then went on to talk about differences between computer monitors and movie theater screens and cell phones. So I don't know what to tell you, man. At the end he says, keep it up, good channel with good content, and get your audio fixed. So yeah, I did fix the audio, thanks for pointing that out. With all the other stuff, I don't know where all that's coming from. Everyone has their own thoughts on 24 frames per second versus 60, and I said, this is what I do, this is the reason why, and if you want your videos to look more like Hollywood films, this is how I think you should do it. Not everyone's gonna agree, and that can be a touchy subject. I've got friends that use 60 frames per second as their base rate, and it works fine if that's the look you're going for, but I'm not. All right, next up, where is he looking? It's scary. Sorry, I'm scaring you. I try to always look right here at you in the camera, unless I'm for some reason looking at something or showing something and trying to make it obvious, but I try to make it look like I'm looking at you while I'm talking, so maybe it's scary for you to have conversations with people. Beginners don't have $340 to blow on a tripod. Selfie flexing, or that was number one. Number two, selfie flexing is the new duck lips. So in that video, I was talking about carbon fiber versus aluminum monopods. Carbon fiber is lighter, it costs more. And I was using an example sitting there, curling the carbon fiber one a lot and making it look like it was hard to lift up the aluminum, just to make a point that, hey, this is lighter, it's easier to move around. And I guess he thought I was flexing, but you know, duck lips. There you go. I don't know, that's silly, but as far as the whole beginners don't have $340 to spend on the tripod, I said, I'm sorry, how much do beginners have to spend? And I never got a response, but for some reason people associate beginner with cheap. And I've said many times in my gear videos, I suggest the stuff that I think will last you for a long time. Filmmaking is not a cheap hobby to get into. There's microphones, lights, cameras, lenses, stabilization gear. It is not cheap. And I suggest getting good stuff because the longer you can use that stuff, the better it's gonna be. I've gotten cheap tripods, cheap gimbals, and found out this isn't gonna work very well, and then end up selling that, or no one wants it, so I don't sell it, and then pay for the more expensive thing too. So what I suggest is, because I think this will last you for a long time. You're a beginner, it'll last you until you get to the point where you're gonna be making money with your videos, and then guess what? You can spend more on an even better tripod as an investment for your business. Do you even blink? And another person said, bro, you don't blink, wild. Okay, I edit videos. You know, most people I think know that it's not like this where I'm just talking with no editing. I'm looking at the camera, say my part, and then go to a different part where I know I'm gonna be overlaying stuff. So I typically, I guess, don't blink that much because it's small clips. You are out of focus in the video. People love pointing out stuff that isn't quite right with your videos, and I'm not gonna record a whole video if there's a few little parts that are out of focus. I have done some where I start editing, I'm like, man, this is so bad, it's distracting, because it's hunting for me the whole time. When I first got my M50 and was testing out the autofocus settings, I ended up going back, just using manual focus for that shot until I found a better setting I liked and did it again. It's painful to have to do that, but if there's a few parts that are a little out of focus, it's not razor sharp, it's not that big a deal if you're getting the info that you need. But I do know what they mean when it can be distracting if the whole thing's out of focus. Another person, you don't have a clue about tripods. Okay, I went and looked at the person's channel. Like 3 subscribers and no videos. So I just said, okay, you should make a video about them and correct me. I mean, there's not a whole lot to know about tripods, really. And then going back to my video about beginner camera suggestions, I always get people saying stuff. Well, before I say this, I always talk about Canon and Sony. Those are the 2 cameras I've used. That's what I like. I don't have anything against other brands, but I'm only gonna suggest things that I've actually used, think will be good for you. So people always say, you forgot to talk about the GH5 or the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera or Fuji or whatever, Nikon, it won't make sense for me to talk about every camera that's out there, because then I'm just gonna have 20 cameras say, hey, here's all these cameras, pick one. That's not very helpful. I'm telling you what I think is gonna be best for you starting out, will last you a long time, till you outgrow it, you start getting paid using that, and then you can afford even better equipment. So I'm not gonna talk about everything. So here's a few comments from my other channel where I put my short films. I have a couple parodies that have done really well, and they involve me singing. So I've gotten this quite a few times. Cringe, cringe, with a laughing face and another cringe. And I have to agree, I go back and watch some of them and it does make me cringe as well, because I was starting out. Those were some of the first things I did when I was learning about video and was practicing, getting better. I thought certain things would look good. I think it's more so due to the singing, because I'm not that great. Like in this next comment, learn to sing, genius, or the singing sucks, but this is cute. I'm glad the video is cute. And yeah, the singing's not that great. I'm not real good. I don't have a high voice where I sound good singing falsetto like Justin Timberlake. I used to want to be a rock star, do all that kind of stuff. I've written lots of songs, singer-songwriter type thing, but it just didn't work out for me. And I found something else that I like doing better in making videos, and I'm actually better at it. And that making music's part of what led me to doing videos. So I'm glad it happened. Like I said, you learn from your mistakes and you get better, and I think my videos have been getting better. And then I'm gonna go over a couple nicer comments, because I think it's always good to end on a positive note. But before I do, I saved my favorite comment for last here. This guy actually left this comment and then deleted it, but I get emails I used to get emails from every comments that I get. And so I saved this one because I thought it was pretty funny. So, first, this is from my second video on the camera suggestions, where I talk about a bunch of videos. An insulting cell phone sales pitch. He's a sellout. A hack. Do not friend or subscribe. Do not friend. I didn't know you could friend someone on YouTube, but whatever. So after going down a list of camera functions he knows a beginner will not know, overwhelming them with information, he never even takes the time to explain the details of what he recommends for cameras, just states the two general broad categories he started with in the end: mirror, no mirror. I think he's talking about mirrorless versus DSLR. A subliminal, ignore that, I got something better. The only thing he really pitched was a cell phone that just so happened to have a nice ripe apple on it. He recommends one of the two categories, mirror or no mirror, after all is said and done, then bringing up some filmmaker that, again, if you're a beginner, flashing a picture on the screen, making it another subliminal message of, you don't know who he is, so he must be important, you ill-informed beginner. So after talking about these cameras, I said, hey, if you don't have money for a DSLR and these interchangeable lens cameras, you probably have a cell phone. And I held up my cell phone, which is an iPhone, and it can do HD 4K video. Use what you have. And I pointed out that there are some filmmakers who have used cell phones for entire videos on YouTube and made short films with them, and they look good. So he said, who shot this whole Christmas video on a cell phone? That was Casey Neistat. And this guy shot an entire wedding with? Please. So I said I've even used this in a wedding. I didn't say I shot a whole wedding with it, because what happened was I was at the end of a wedding, I was putting all my gear away, couple was leaving, but then something else started happening. I was like, oh, I need to get that. So I pulled out my cell phone, did some recordings, and guess what? That clip made it into the final edit of their highlight film. So yes, I have used it in a video, but I never said I shot an entire wedding with it. So he said, please go back to the marketing room at Apple and try again. Here's the best part. But he doesn't, sorry, but he does have nice hair. I'll give him that. Thank you. I work hard on it. But that was just awesome. All that rant, and then he does have nice hair. So anyways, there's always going to be negativity. Like I said, try to be friendly to people. Don't be rude. Don't get down to their level. Just, you do want to engage some if you can in a friendly way, because like I said, YouTube algorithms see that as more engagement on your video, more people are going to like it. They're going to push it out to more videos, or to push the video out to more people. So just a few nicer ones to finish this off. Someone did say, you're a good singer after the Learn to Sing Genius, so that was nice. But here, someone said, your channel is better than any masterclass course. I'm in love with your content. Please keep up the good work. Thank you. That means a lot because I watch a lot of masterclasses and they're very helpful. You are all right. You are to the point and reasonably smart. Come hang out on one of my sets sometime. So I'm guessing this is someone who is a legit filmmaker shooting, I don't know, films or TV shows or something, but sounds like there's real sets. So someone who wouldn't mind having me around when I've never actually been on a true film set. That's a pretty good compliment. This was on my bedtime short film. I'll link that in the description as well if you haven't seen it. Someone said, I almost thought I was on Netflix. This is great. So that's a pretty good compliment there. I appreciate it. And one last one. Another great job. The amount of detail and time that you put in your videos is unbelievable. As far as I'm concerned, your editing a video is much better than Peter McKinnon. Cool. I mean, I think Peter McKinnon's really good at what he does, but he's one of the guys that's way up there that all the filmmaker YouTube people love because he does some pretty cool stuff. So that meant a lot. That's helpful. You know, when you see those kind of comments, it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to keep going. Not because I'm looking for people to tell me I'm doing so great, but I love making videos. And one of the reasons I started this channel is because when I dive into stuff deeper, it helps me to know more. And then teaching that to people helps me to understand it even better. And it forces me to practice every week to keep making more stuff when I'm in between making my own projects. So if you are new here, once again, I have a Facebook group that I have linked in the description where I can better answer your filmmaking questions. We got a lot of people there. Group is growing. If there's stuff that I don't know as well about other systems, other cameras, other editing programs, there's people in there that use DaVinci, Resolve, Adobe. I use Final Cut, just all kinds of stuff. We post videos, help each other out. I really hope that it'll help you out if you come join the group. I do have my computer back. I'm excited about that. I'm setting up all my stuff on it again. It's taking a while, but the good thing is next week I'm gonna be back to my regularly scheduled videos. So look out for that. I have a lot of good stuff planned that I think will be helpful. And like always, if this was helpful, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you soon in a normal video. Later, guys.